The National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention is a network of communities and federal agencies that work together, share information, and empower communities to prevent and reduce youth violence. The summit brought together a diverse group of participants involved in violence prevention. In April 2012, the National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention held the second annual Summit on Preventing Youth Violence in Washington, D.C. The 6 cities involved in the forum, Boston, Chicago, Detroit, Memphis, Salinas, and San Jose, provided updates on their comprehensive plans to prevent youth violence. During the 2-day summit, the 3 principles of the forum were reinforced: multidisciplinary partnerships, balanced approaches between prevention, intervention, enforcement, and reentry, and data-driven strategies.
We have to ask ourselves, in America, how could we let young people's lives end before they've had a chance to truly begin?
Today's summit presents an important opportunity to renew our commitment to these critical efforts and to reaffirm our collective resolve to protect our nation's young people in every way that we possibly can.
One of the most important things we can do. If our young people aren't safe, everything we're trying to get them to do long term is simply not going to be relevant to their lives if they're trying to survive.
For HUD and for this administration, stopping youth violence starts at home. And it requires the participation of all of us, across all levels of government and from all sectors. There are no sidelines in this fight to end youth violence.
So I think our ultimate goal has to be for every child in America to be safe at home, in school, in their community, no matter what zip code they live in. We have a long way to go to achieve that goal, but the work you're doing in these cities across the country is blazing a trail that all of us can follow.
In Boston, we've been able to reduce the numbers by a 2-part strategy: putting police officers in the places where crime is occurring. So we've teamed up with academics. They've done a longitudinal study of the city of Boston, and they can prove that 2.5% to 5% of the city blocks are where, over the last 30 years, these shootings have occurred. They're not all over the city. They're in very specific locations.
Most importantly for this summer, we've added 20,000 kids to be able to go to our summer camps at our park district, which is going to see about 8,000 more kids in availability of slots. We've taken our after-school program that runs in the summer, went from 4,000 to 6,000. And we also increased our funding for the youth jobs by close to about 75%.
That student said, "I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I have the right as a student to go home in the same condition that I left in the morning." And I don't think it can be said any stronger. I don't think it can be said any more directly about the importance of what we do, the urgency of how we do it, and the need to go back reinforced, ready to change these young people's lives.
It is our collective intention to reduce youth violence by 25% over the next 5 years. We now have in place 18 citywide strategies specifically for youth prevention that begin at birth and continue to the age of 24.
Our plan has always been to be youth-centered. So that means we look at the student first, we look at their family, we look at their neighborhood, and we look at the schools. Together, we focus specifically one student at a time.
20 years ago, one of my predecessors, Mayor Susan Hammer, created this concept called the Mayor's Gang Prevention Task Force. And we've been at it for a long time, and we will never quit. And that's one of the lessons: you can never quit.
Who is going to lead our country? We live in a country where violence is daily and murder is common. And if we don't start to educate our young people to take over leadership roles in our country, we're looking at a very bleak future.
For the youth out there, keep on trying. We can't give up on our youth. A lot of my stuff was built from my childhood, and because of the care and support of adults that cared about me, that showed me love, showed me compassion, I was then able to open up my heart and my trust and give them a chance to educate me to a new life.
What a difference we can make in their lives, but also what a difference we can make if we actually listen to what they have to say.
what we try to do is to promote philanthropy's investment in effective interventions that'll change systems for children, youth, and their families.
We kept hearing from the community residents, from law enforcement agents, that youth violence was an important issue for them and that they wanted companies to step up.
Turned our pain, our deep pain, and turned it into peace. And from that peace, gives us power.
And you shall raise up the foundation of many generations. You shall be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of the streets to dwell in. God bless each and every one of you, repairers of the breach.
One, we need an integrated government response. This is not just a police issue. This has to be a public health issue. This has to be a mental health issue. Many of the young people that we are targeting as the purveyors of violence are suffering from some severe mental health challenges.
We know what the challenges are. We know what some of the solutions are. We need the resources and a coordinated effort to really make it all worthwhile and keep these young people out of harm's way for themselves or for others.
You know that by working together, by pooling all of our resources, all of our ideas, by creating networks to support one another, we have the ability to reverse that tide of youth violence in our communities. The National Forum is helping us to chart that path to success.
There is great hope for the youth of this nation. Hope that they can learn to make good choices once they reach full maturity. Real hope that even if they've made a bad choice, they can grow up and become productive citizens and lead productive lives in this nation.
We must never forget the senseless tragedies that have taken place and still do take place. But we also must be inspired by all of the stories of amazing transformation in the face of enormous odds. That's why I urge you to never tire, never rest. Certainly don't give up. Our children are counting on you. And know that as you fight to make our city safe for America's children, President Obama stands steadfastly at your side. Thank you very much.